Hey everyone, I'm John. You're watching the Real Man Rom-Com Review. We have 6 movies to review this week from Hallmark and Great American Family. It was certainly Hunky Guy Week this week with Andrew Walker, Victor Webster, and Jesse Hutch. Lori Loughlin makes her return to the Christmas lineup, and Gina Claire Mason returns for her second Christmas movie. Before I get started, a reminder that you can view all my content when you subscribe to this channel, and be sure to ring that bell so that you are notified when new content drops. Here's my ranking of the movies from the week of November 9th through the 12th. In 6th, Everything Christmas, which aired Friday, November 10th on the Hallmark Channel. Look, hands down, one of the all-time worst Hallmark movies I have ever seen. Seriously, I was sighing less than 5 minutes into this abomination. And I feel really bad for Corey Sevier and Cindy Busby, who aren't bad as actors, but they were victims of a bad script. Now, the one highlight in this movie was George Maswell as Kris Kringle. I hope to see him play Father Christmas again in the future. Hey, what do you think of my new Christmas shirt? My lovely wife Lisa designed this. You can order this or other Christmassy products by clicking on the Etsy link below. Number 5 was Christmas Keepsake, which aired Saturday, November 11th on Great American Family. Now, Tom Jones, the single father, not the singer, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone, has moved to Asbury Grove with his daughter Grace from the land down under, where you better run, you better take cover. Tom wants to throw Gracie a backyard Christmas fair to remind her of the one that they used to have back in Australia, but all the vendors are booked. Now, while Gracie's in the backyard playing in the snow, she finds a cookie tin filled with trinkets and a list of things that someone said would make Christmas special. Now, Gracie wants to figure out who the owner of this Christmas time capsule is. Now, Gracie and Tom end up heading into the local bakery in town where they meet Elizabeth, who runs the bakery, with her mother, April. April, who just happens to live next door to Tom and Grace, invites them over for dinner with Elizabeth. And Tom asks what he can bring for dinner, and April says that he can bring a very specific dessert. And she informs him that Elizabeth knows how to make that particular dessert, so he should go and talk to her. Oh, that April knows how to play matchmaker, doesn't she? Now, Grace happens to see David, who runs the local tree lot, at a couple of places on the list, so it makes her think that he might have been the one who placed the time capsule. Well, is she right? Does April's plan to bring Elizabeth and Tom together work? Of course it does. Will Tom find a Christmas miracle and make the backyard Christmas fair happen? Watch Christmas Keepsake to find out. Now, like last week, and with the exception of Everything Christmas, there wasn't a lot of difference between my 3rd, 4th, and 5th ranked movies this week. Now, this movie gets 5th because there were some glaring misses in the movie. We were never told that what Tom does for a living, but he seems to have plenty of money since he's going to throw a backyard Christmas fair for his daughter. Maybe he sold a business and retired. Maybe he had a big life insurance policy on his wife. Maybe his family is just stinking rich. Look, we get another movie where we have characters pretending to drink hot cocoa out of an empty cup. Now, the director needs to remind the actors that the principal word in hot cocoa is hot. You cannot throw it around in your hand or drink it like it's a Coca-Cola. And listen, what town lights their tree on December 23rd? Listen, if I'm in charge of these Hallmark movies, I'd make a hard and fast rule that you cannot have a tree lighting ceremony or a Christmas parade if it's past December 15th. It's just not realistic. Now, the music in this movie is that drab piano soundtrack that we heard so many times in last year's Great American Family movies. Attention, Great American Family, it brings the mood down. My kiss-o-meter score for this movie, it's a solid 7 for multiple kisses and a little flair. Number 4, Christmas Island, which aired Saturday, November 11th on the Hallmark Channel. Now, Kate Pruitt is a pilot on a regional airline until she's hired to fly the Sharp family on their personal jet from LA to the Swiss Alps for Christmas. Now, while Kate's approaching the east coast of the U.S., air traffic controller Oliver comes over the radio to inform them of a bad storm that is grounding all flights. And they're forced to land at Christmas Island in Nova Scotia. Now, of course, Helen Sharp's not very happy that they were forced to delay their arrival in the Swiss Alps. Why? Well, because she sent her nanny ahead of them to prepare for their arrival, so she has nobody to watch the kids. What a biatch. Kate offers to help, so Helen charges her with the task of taking care of Christmas for the kids. That's good parenting. So the Sharps will be bunking at town postal worker and Oliver's father, Jim McLeod's place, while Kate will bunk with Oliver's sister, Maggie, who's also the town mayor. Now, Jim enlists the helps of the kids, Callie and Finn Sharp, to help him process all the letters that come to Christmas Island. You see, parents mail their kids' letters to Santa to Christmas Island, along with a return letter from Santa, which gets sent back to the kids with a Christmas Island postmark on it. Now, the storm may end up resulting in the kids not getting their letters from Santa on time. So my wife, Lisa, did a similar thing last year where parents filled out a form online, and based on the information that she provided, Lisa printed out letters from Santa to the kids, which were then sent to Alaska, where they were mailed with a note, mailed back to the kids with a North Pole postmark stamped on the letter. If you'd like to have information on how you could do that for your child, visit the link at the bottom of this video. Now, will Kate be able to get the Sharps to the Alps for Christmas, or will she lose her job? How will Oliver and Kate find love? Or will her career goals and his fear of flying ground their relationship? And is there a Christmas miracle out there that will clear the storm so that Santa's letters will get to the kids on time? And just what is a lobster tree? To find out these answers, watch Christmas Island. Look, this was just a middle-of-the-road movie for me. I mean, it hit all the right notes when it came to developing the relationship between Kate and Oliver, but the story had some real holes in it that took away from my overall enjoyment. I mean, we have this horrible storm that's grounding all the flights for days, yet it was either barely snowing or not snowing at all throughout the movie. I mean, and is there no way for them to fly around this storm? Look, Oliver has this fear of flying, but he's trying to hook up with a pilot. How is that supposed to work? And letters to Santa have to be postmarked by the 23rd to get to the kids in time for Christmas? We all know that the post office tells us to send out Christmas cards at least a week in advance to have a chance to make it on time. Well, I guess since they figured out that they didn't have any way to do magic mail delivery, they come up with a digital mail option. Now, how can you do that when you only have addresses and no email addresses? Inconceivable. Now, for all the bad, there was plenty of fun. The story of getting the letter with the postmark, it was very nice. And Andrew Walker as Belsnickel was pretty funny. I mean, I've never really heard of this character before, but we get introduced to him twice this week, here and in Heidelberg Christmas. One note to Andrew, put your beard on when you're taking pictures, as a character. And the lobster pot treat, well, you're just going to have to see it for yourself. My Kiss-O-Meter score for this movie is a whopping 10. I mean, they kiss twice in this movie. Big old open mouth kisses. I mean, these two are married and it's sure like there was some tongue slipping going on. And this isn't the first time we've seen this from Andrew Walker. So before I reveal my top 3 movies for the week, a reminder to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell. Number 3, A Heidelberg Christmas, which aired Sunday, November 12th on the Hallmark Channel. Heidi Heidelberg makes hand-painted glass ornaments at her shop in Boulder, Colorado. Now, she's been trying to get a booth at the Heidelberg Christmas market for years with no success. That is until this year when someone drops out and she's given their booth assignment. Now, it's going to cost a fortune to her to send her ornaments to Germany via the U.S. Postal Service. And the postmaster tells her about this discount courier service, UPS, Universal Package Service, who can send it much cheaper. Well, you know what they say, if it sounds too good to be true. Or maybe I should say you get what you pay for. Upon arriving in Heidelberg, her cab driver lets her off like 50 doors down from where she's staying. So she's walking up the hill, she meets Lucas, and she happens to be staying with his family. Now, to make her feel welcome, Lucas's family participates in Heidi's tradition of writing down a wish and placing it in the toe of the stocking where it cannot be revealed unless it comes true. Now, Heidi's first day at the market goes rather poorly. Nobody seems interested in her ornaments, and then Lucas tells her to not try so hard, to use the soft sell approach, which seems to work. Heidi has a problem though. She doesn't have any inventory to give out, so everything is pre-order. Well, let's hope those packages arrive soon. So when Heidi goes to the post office to check, she finds out that UPS, seems to use a lot of third-party companies to ship with, and her packages are stuck in customs in Iceland. Will her products make it to Christmas on time for Christmas? Does her stocking wish come true? And what the hell is Studentenkrump her Oma tells her to find? This and more will be answered in Heidelberg Christmas. Look, I was really skeptical of this movie based on the previews, and I was pleasantly surprised with the movie overall. Probably the most annoying thing was the English subtitles. I tend to have the closed captioning on during the movie so that I can go back and take notes on key lines within the movie. And the closed captioning on my TV ended up being on top of the subtitles, so I didn't catch all the translations, which was kind of annoying. Now, Gina Claire Mason, who was in last year's Holiday Spectacular, is extremely bubbly and vibrant. Watching her alone makes me happy. Now, there is lots of Christmas in this movie, including a visit from St. Nicholas and Belschnickel. Now, Lucas's family managed to get this 7-foot tree, but they could only put 50 lights on it. A 7-foot tree should have 300 to 500 lights on it for proper illumination. I think I need to make a video on how to put lights on a tree. Now, while the movie was surprised, the ending kiss between Lucas and Heidi, it only managed a mediocre 5. Number 2, Mystery on Mistletoe Lane, which aired Thursday, November 9th on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. Heidi relocated from North Carolina to the Boston area to become the new director of the Historical Society. Now, the house that Heidi and her 2 children, Garrett and Annie, are moving into belongs to the Historical Society. Now, Heidi arrives at the Historical Society for work, where she meets Linda Swanson and David Avery. Now, David is the former director of the Historical Society, who now runs Great Jobs by David, home of the 4 R's: restore, renovate, refurbish, and repair. One of the movers at Heidi's house trips on a loose board and knocks a painting off the wall. Well, Linda volunteers David to go over and fix the floor for Heidi. And when they get to the house, David finds a tiny reindeer within a hole behind the wall where the painting was hung, marked with D3. Now, at this point, ex-hubby Robert arrives in town with the kids. And Garrett finds the letters WR carved in a chest of drawers in his room, as well as a scroll that indicates that they are going to find 8 clues. D, D, P, C, V, C, C, Garrett finds the letters WR carved into the chest of drawers in his room, as well as a scroll that indicates that they will find 8 clues. DD, PV, CCDB. They are intrigued. David calls his dad and asks about the house that Heidi has moved into, and Dad tells him, don't worry about that thing, leave it all alone, which David thinks is rather odd. Now, the kids discover that the 8 clues match up to each of Santa's reindeer, so D3 was Donner, since he was the 3rd D on the list of Santa's reindeer, Dasher, Dancer, and Donner. Well, anyway, will Garrett and Ashley find all the clues? Will Heidi and David find love? Well, of course they will. Why does David's dad not want to talk about the house? These questions and more will be answered when you watch Mystery on Mistletoe Lane. Now, look, what a fun movie this was. I really enjoyed the mystery hunt part of the story with the hunt for the hidden reindeers. The house that Heidi lives in also has its own unique background that is uncovered as well. So between the treasure hunt and Heidi's Christmas in New Holland exhibit at the Historical Society, there are tons of Christmas in the movie to get you in the holiday spirit. Now, I especially love the old turntable cabinet that she found in the house. It reminded me of the one that I had growing up as a kid, listening to and I can remember listening to the radio and playing family albums on. Good times. Now, all the characters in this movie did a great job. Vic Webster's really good at playing the gentle giant male lead. And Erica Sarah is a newbie to Hallmark movies and showed good comedic timing to go along with her pretty face. The secondary characters also made this movie fun. We had Logan Pierce as the grinchy deputy mayor, and he was delightful when he was pitted up against Hallmark veteran Linda Darlow as Heidi's neighbor Geraldine, who also happens to be the mayor. Now, this movie wasn't without some head scratchers as well. Heidi, who is late for work on her first day, just hands the keys over to the movers, telling them to put things where they think it should go. She's lucky they didn't empty the truck in the driveway. Well, David and Heidi end up taking this carriage ride, and the driver informs them that they are sitting under the mistletoe, so David kisses Heidi's hands. Say what? Anyway, the house that Heidi lives in was given to the Historical Society by the mayor of the town when the deed to the house was lost. All right, look, Realtor Lisa calls BS on this one, because all they had to do was get to a judge to issue a ruling on who owned the house, and they could create a new deed. The kiss-o-meter for this movie was a 7. It was a good kiss, but it didn't have that commitment that I was looking for. Number 1 was A Christmas Blessing, which aired Sunday, November 12th on Great American Family. Mandy Gilmore is leaving her cooking show after 12 years, and she plans to spend the next 2 years traveling the world, eating at every 3-star Michelin restaurant and writing a book about the adventures. But first, she must go to Milwaukee to sell a property she inherited from her Aunt Susie. Now, Aunt Susie ran Angel's Fare, a food bank and soup kitchen, and Adam Caraway is going to purchase the property to expand his courier business next door. Now, maybe he should have shipped Heidi's ornaments for her. Anyway, before the sale, Mandy meets Otto at her aunt's place, and Otto wants to volunteer there, and he's disappointed to hear that Mandy is selling the store. So he wished that they could have one more Christmas to serve the community. Well, Mandy ends up agrees, and before she'll sign the deed over to Andy, which she's going to allow him to renovate the place, she's going to have her Christmas fun food thing. Anyway, with no donations and only 6 days to do this, Mandy's going to need a Christmas angel to make this dream come true. Well, Great American Family gets its second weekly win with A Christmas Blessing. I mean, this is the shining example of how you can incorporate Christian ideals and faith into a movie without cramming it down the throat. Are you hearing me, CCB? Look, Jesse Hutch, who plays in one of my all-time favorites, Let It Snow, and last year's B&B Mary, does a masterful job playing Otto the Christmas Angel. While there's a moderate amount of Christmas in the movie, there's plenty of feel-good moments that make you smile. Well, I've done my fair share of cooking at the Salvation Army as a volunteer, and I can tell you that we have never made stuffed chicken with a pork-bellied truffle. I don't know. But I'm hoping that they have their liquor license from all the wine that they're serving at that dinner as well. Well, that's my ranking for this week. Do you agree? Leave me a comment. You can view all my content by subscribing to this channel, and if you ring the bell, you'll be notified when new content drops. Thanksgiving weekend is just around the corner, and we have 11 movies that week to review. Thanks for watching. I'm John, and this is The Real Man Rom-Com Review.